Alright, so we're taking a break from the outside projects to put something together that I bought. I'm going to do this in the AC for a little bit. So from the box you can see this is a Killer Instinct Model 1000. It's called a Lethal 405. And this is a crossbow. It's the first crossbow I've ever purchased, and so I thought I'd do a product review, a box opening, and we'll see exactly what all they have inside and how to put it together and all the instructions. So hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so here's the actual product, so you can see what we're looking at. It said it had a limited lifetime warranty. We'll see what that looks like. I did not buy the crank, although I've heard from many people that that is a really good idea to have, so I might look into that at some other point. But I got it from Bass Pro, very reasonably priced. I didn't want to spend too much money. Read the reviews. For the most part, it seemed pretty good, probably like a 4 to a 4.5 out of 5. So as a result, I decided to try this one out, and we'll see how it goes. So let's check it out. Alright, so the contents, we have our owner's manual. We have Not Return to Store, quick start guide. And let's see how they packed it in there. So there's the actual bow portion of it. Loosely put in there. Here's the quiver. Here's the actual unit itself, and I believe that's the hanger. And then there's 3 arrows that came with it. So we're gonna unstrap all this and then. Alright, so I'm inserting one piece into my video. A couple folks realized that I had missed a step, which I did, and that is this string slide. It goes on the strings, and where it rides is in here to protect your string. And I'm going to see if I can zoom in. I did shoot the bow once or twice without that. I don't know if you can see right here though, but the string is a little worn from that. So you definitely want to make sure you add that piece into there, and then it will end up going right here inside this slide here, and it'll protect the string from wearing out. Ready? Good. Alright, so you're just going to give you a Allen wrench. I'm going to screw those in there. It turns probably faster with a drill, but in the past I've assembled different items before in the past, and I used a power drill only to find out that I cracked something or broke something. So I would not suggest necessarily using power tools. When assembling something like this, it would work and make it a lot faster. However, if you're not careful, you could over torque and break something. So that's not what we're looking to do. So I'm going to start the next one before I finish tightening it. Make sure they're getting in there all right. Main reason I bought this, well, obviously it's going to be for hunting, but this year we were able to obtain 2 quota hunts for 2 different areas in our state of Florida that we're going to be able to hunt. And you can use crossbows, well, a crossbow in one of them, and you can always use it on private land during archery. So never know. But we're going to be hunting this year, so we'll do some videos of our hunts, see if we can't show you anything we get this year. Alright, I'm going to switch it this way. I'm never fond of these bolts. I usually feel like they're not made of the highest quality. So you got to be careful when you're tightening them up to not mess it up. There's already built in a washer, a lock washer, and of course the bolt itself. So, and once you strip it, that's the end of that program. It ain't gonna work right. So you got to be careful not to do that. All right, so that's those two bolts. Now we have to flip it over, and there is a bolt that goes in right here. And this one, again, this is the third bolt. It's going to hold this, basically the bow to the stock is what's being done here. So, all right, so let's get this on there. Okay, so that's tightened up pretty good. So that's the assembly so far of the crossbow to the rail. Alright, so now we're going to put the stirrup in. So that's going to slide in right here. And there are set screws in here that have to be backed out a little bit so that can slide in there. There we go. Get this in there. And the set screws are out. And you want to make sure that stirrup gets in there. If you notice, there's notches in there, so that's where that set screw can go down in there and hold it. So it's important that you make sure that that gets placed in there far enough so that it'll actually hold. And I think there were a few folks that said that was a problem, but obviously also looking at this myself, if you don't get it in there right, it's not going to work. So it's not a very difficult process, and you can actually tell, and as I'm screwing the set screws in there, you can feel them going in there, and then they eventually stop when they hit the stirrup. So it when they get in there all the way, this one may need to go a little further. There we go. It's still a little loose compared to the other one. Oh, there it is. Okay. There. Now that's firm, and then what's going to happen is you're going to be putting your foot through there to hold this down while you're cocking it back. So, all right, now we're going to look at installing the quiver. All right, so now we're going to put the quiver together. So they give you this little piece here. It's going to get on there. 2 screws are going to get put in there. It's just going to require a Phillips screwdriver. And we're just gonna again, I wouldn't recommend using power tools because you can over torque something and then have more problems than you need. Okay, so I guess this isn't going all the way. Definitely want to make sure everything is put together properly, tightly. All right, there we go. Now, the other piece for the quiver gets put on up here. And this is how you lock the quiver into this holster here. So we'll run these two. By the way, this is what the screw looks like, so a flathead. screws they provide. So I'm going to finish screwing this in there, and then I'll show you how the quiver sits on there. It has a little locking spot. It's made so it'll hold on there pretty good. So, all right, so those are on. Now when the quiver goes on, there's this little indentation here, and when you, let's see if it slides in there. I don't know which way it's supposed to slide in yet. Imagine it has to go this way. There we go. So it's going to slide in, and then this is going to lock it in place so it won't move. And your arrows will be sitting in here like this. All right. Ready? Okay. All right, so here's the scope they provide. We're going to put that on there. So I've loosened up the nuts on there, and these will move and adjust so we can get it to sit on here. So they tell you to kind of get it to where it'll be the best eye comfort. So I'm not 100% sure where exactly we're gonna put it. We're gonna put it on here, and then we'll test it and see. So it literally just kind of sits onto that rail. There's grooves for the bolts to run across and sit in, and then when you tighten it up on this other rail, there's a lip, and it'll just kind of sit on there. And then it has covers, obviously, for that as well, so that can be done. So there, we've already got the crossbow assembled. We have our scope on, got this on here for the rail, and now we're going to take a look to see what the next step is they have us to do. All right, before we go fire it, also bought a target. I'm literally just opening it for the first time, so we're going to see what we got. So this is a target for a crossbow. It is small, but if you're a good aim, then you're going to know what you're shooting into. So we're going to get our crossbow loaded, and we're going to go shoot it and see how it works. All right, so here's the crossbow. One thing I want to talk about real quick is the safety zone of this. Your safe zone to touch is from here to these stoppers. If you are touching and your hand is forward before those and this string releases, it could very much injure yourself. So they tell you make sure your hand, if you're touching anything, it's in this portion here, to where you're not going to be injured. So now we're going to load an arrow, and I am making sure that nobody is in my vicinity, in front of me that is. You're going to put that green part down. I'm assuming that is loaded. It's up against it. I was trying to take the safety off before. There we go. So once that arrow is in there, it actually allows you to release it. I'm assuming they don't want you dry firing this crossbow. So we're going to see, like, this hasn't been sighted in or anything. This is all from the factory. So we've got a target back there. And we're just going to see how well this works. Let's check it out. Slide this piece down here, and then I'll line it up in a minute here. And then you can slide this on, and then we'll go to the long bolts going in here. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that because... All right, so we found it. It was way short of the target. So we're gonna reload it again and try it, and I'm gonna try and be a little more steady and see if the scope's off or what. All right, so one thing they do tell you to do is a grease. They give you, again, this looks like chapstick. They want you to grease the rail, and they want you to grease the string. They say every 5 shots. So because these are my first shots and loading and so forth, I'm going to probably grease a little bit more than perhaps normally would, but I don't want to take any chances and mess up a brand new bow. So we're going to do that. We're going to load it and then try firing it again. So we'll see. Y'all are checking this out with us during the first time. All right, so when you reload it, this comes with a rope for cocking the string back. I got it backwards though. You have to go through a certain way. So that's important to remember, that these grooves come down this way. You're going to attach it here and here. There's also a spot on here. The rope is supposed to ride in there. So you want to make sure that is done as well. So it definitely takes a little more muscle to do this than it would if you just were doing the crank. But you're going to hold it, and when you get the pulling, there's a tight spot right there, right here, and it releases, and then you got to wait for that click. When you hear that click, the string is now cocked and ready to go. So you can take this off. You want to remember again, you want to do it carefully because you don't want that string to break loose, come loose on you, and then hurt you. So we're going to fire again. So I'm going to load my arrow. Again, the green fin, probably using all the wrong terminology, but it goes in here. Okay, like that. That should then allow you to get the safety off, which it does. And I love the fact that as soon as the string cocks, the safety's on, so it's great that, you know, that's there. So it should prevent any misfires. But you definitely don't want anybody sitting on the other side. I believe this is over 400 foot-pounds of feet per second here with this arrow. So let's see if we can actually hit the target this time. All right, so we've made a couple adjustments on the scope, and I think we've got it. We hit the target low last time. I did a couple more clicks, so we should be able to hit that target in the center. So let's see how we do this time. Okay, so we've done a lot of adjustments on it now. I think we're going to be pretty close with this. It's pretty much hitting dead on, but we are only sighting it in at probably, I don't know, 15 yards, so that's probably not the best, but let's see if we got any better this time. Alright, so that is the Killer Instinct crossbow. I like it. It's definitely a little bit of a challenge to cock, but I'm about 5'10", I weigh about 173 pounds, and I was able to cock it okay. So, but you've got to have some strength to be able to pull that back, because it's quite a challenge. I did want to just notice this. That was the 5th shot, and you're supposed to grease it after every 5 shots. What I do want to mention is greasing it prior to here isn't going to do much, so you want to grease on this cable here, on this side, probably in here as well, as it's sliding across here. So you want to grease in here, and then under here, and on this string over here, because those are the ones that are going to go through the cambers. So you definitely want to make sure it's greased up right so that it's going smooth and that you can fire it. But hopefully this year we'll be able to use this and get ourselves a deer. So anyways, appreciate you watching. I hope this was of some benefit to you. The scope is still going to need a little work to get it on there, but I was at least able to hit the target on the lower end of it. It's been a while since I've shot anything, so I'll probably spend a little extra time getting that scope dialed in, and should be an exciting time hunting with it. So I appreciate you all watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and you can subscribe. Like I usually say, I like to review things, and if I buy something or do something, show you what we're doing. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.